Hey guys, Mike here, Professional Securities. I'm only going to keep this video under 10 minutes. Filmed another one yesterday that I haven't uploaded yet, so I'll probably end up shooting that one out as soon as I'm done here. Just got done watching Sean over at the Investigations Leadership channel. Just got done watching one of Sean's lives, and kind of want to touch on that. So, for those who aren't aware of me, hi, I'm Mike. I'm a security officer in the wonderful city of Las Vegas. Credentialed to teach batons, credentialed to teach the Taser Law Enforcement Series. I'm an Axon public safety instructor, as well as being a Saber Aerosol, a CAN instructor, as well as being one of the very few credentialed Saber 0.68 caliber instructors within the U.S. As far as Saber hasn't put on too many of those courses yet, so I'm one of the one of the few Saber Pepperball 68 instructors in the U.S. currently. So with that being said, my credentials laid out on the table, so to speak, I'm a less lethal instructor. So I could speak to Sean's live. And there was something somebody made to where, there was a comment that somebody had made about like, yeah, there's a lot of nuances in security, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, there are a lot of nuances in general, yes, but in this specific context, my head spins with what I see on YouTube. People who are supposed experts, people who more or less give fluff, people that talk out of their ass, people that they put up a good front, but they don't really know what they're doing. And in that vein, all I'm going to say is, in Sean's context in that live, he was talking about knives. All we need to cite is the Tweller drill. Started right where I just moved from, Salt Lake City Police Department. Detective, I forget his name, or his first name, excuse me, but Detective Tweller. In the, I believe it was the 80s or 90s. Well, I know it was probably the 90s. If it wasn't the 80s, it was definitely the 90s. I digress. He had the drill, what's now called the Tweller drill, about blades, and somebody can close the gap on, if you're trying to come out of the holster, or even if you're low ready compressed. By the time you punch out, or by the time your gun's actually presented out of the holster, by the time you present, the knife's already on you. Somebody can close the gap from 21 feet in about, I think it was 1.5 or 2.5 seconds. So that's a pretty short time span when you're talking about adrenaline going through you, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When you've got an adrenaline dump going and, you're in the moment, you got adrenaline going through you. That's not a lot of time at all. Sean made a recent short about train at the, I forget what the saying was in Sean's short, but Sean made a thing about, train at the speed of light or train at the speed of something. And I'm like, yeah. I definitely agree with that. So I don't prescribe to the idea of people. I don't prescribe to the idea of people introducing less lethal into a lethal situation. Albeit, I do agree with Sean. Depending on the optics of the situation, if you have the opportunity, if it makes sense, yes, still try to work up to deadly force. If you have a taser or OC or whatever, do that. Like, I'll go grab my duty belt. Give me 1 second. And I'll actually even throw my duty belt on, just to give context on what I'm talking about here. Because I have an AWS, I have an OS Inc. duty belt, and I have belt keepered one of their pads to my duty belt so I can wear this over any piece of clothing that I want. So AUSync is my duty belt right now. Gonna be changing that out pretty soon here. But so Taser is. Let me take my guard card off my belt. Nevada PIOB guard card. Take my security license off. All right, it's on the table now. All right, so. And I was not planning on putting on my duty belt for this video, but I was just like, the hell with it. As I'm talking here, I'm like, use my belt as a prop, more or less. So, pepper spray. I actually had to redo my belt recently due to the fact that I'm working mobile patrol with my employer. Now that I'm working mobile patrol, I actually have my flashlight, like, further back. And it got to the point to where my flashlight was digging into me as I was in the patrol car, so I had to change some stuff around. So I'm actually feeling for my OC right now because I changed the belt. So again, goes back to one of my videos, knowing your equipment. I don't really know my equipment on this side right now because I changed some stuff. So now I'm like, where's my OC? That's what I'm doing on film right now. So yes, I am wrong-handed. I'm a lefty. So firearm is in the holster. I'm an ASP AIC baton handcuffing and defensive flashlight instructor. We're taught batons the possibility of a baton can be a lethal implement. It is not considered an implement, or is not considered deadly force, but it can be deadly force. Because if you hit somebody in the red zones with a baton. So me personally, I prescribe to the idea as far as the use of force continuum within implements, less lethal and lethal implements. Because, everybody goes, officer safety and da-da-da-da-da. Yes, but belt-wise, the continuum is OC, taser, baton, service weapon, deadly force. So because the baton can be lethal and it's one step below my weapon anyways, I put that on my left side, which is my lethal side. L for life is what I always say in my head. Is that considered an analogy? When you use letters to remember stuff or whatever? I digress. Yeah, so L for lethal, life, L for life. So my baton is with my weapon. Now, the reason why I want to throw my belt on is because my weak side, I don't have my taser or my duty belt because my taser X26E, just found out I have a much older taser in research that I've been doing. Found out I don't even have a smart taser. Mine's a dumb taser, so gotta spend on a new taser soon. But hey, it'll make a good trainer piece when me and my buddy start our company. Needs to come on that. But point of this was, so pepper spray and taser would be on my support side. The reason why I put my duty belt on was because, yes, you want to introduce, if you can, for worried about optics, you want to introduce less lethal into a situation. So I'd have my OC out, but, I put it on the table actually. So, oops. Mike's bloopers on film. So let me snap this up real fast. So I'll snap it. As I'm drawing my OC, I'm defeating the retention on my alien gear. So actually what I would do is I drop it to level 2. So as I'm drawing the OC, I pop the hood. That way all I would need to do, I'm not sure if y'all can see it on camera, I would be defeating the ejection safety. It'd be basically, if I have my ALS versus SLS, Safari Land terminology, if I don't have them confused, the ALS is the ejection. So I would already have the SLS, I have my hood down. So all I would need to do, you can't really see it, is I'd be going for the ejection. If deadly force is needed, I go for the ejection, and that way all I need to do is swipe. So I'd have the gun, I'd have the OC out, and, I do what I gotta do, but I'm ready to go, God forbid. So, yes, knowing your equipment, knowing your laws, knowing the laws for your jurisdiction, and just basically security 101, I call it. Knowing the basics are pretty important. I don't prescribe to this whole, your firearm is an ornament, your firearm should not be coming out as a security guard. I don't prescribe to that idea. Lethal meets lethal. If somebody has a knife, you come out. I've seen that too many times on YouTube where somebody's like, oh, but if they have a knife, and I equate them to, not to be on a seat of arrogance here, but I equate them to allied guards. Guards with no training, guards who are speaking from ignorance or flat out stupidity. If they do know stuff, they're just not, they're not caring about it. And I'm like, you're a shit guard. Sorry. Again, like I said, I may be speaking from arrogance there, but those are the people that I really don't listen to. I don't take tidbits from, because lethal means lethal. If a knife is present, I'm at least going to have my retention out. And actually, I might even have my gun lifted, retention completely defeated, slightly out of the holster. That way, all I need to do, this is loaded, I'm being very careful. I am in a safe direction, so I am actually going to come out. If I'm lifted, all I need to do, if my retention's defeated, all I need to do is lift and punch. I call it punch. You're presenting the firearm. So that's one thing that I always get into arguments with people about, and that's why I don't do social media too much anymore. I don't do private security conversations on social media too much anymore, because 90 to 99% of this industry is incompetent. I'm sorry. It is the way it is. So lethal meets lethal every time. If somebody has a knife out, you're more than justified in coming out and doing what you got to do. But we as guards, we as non-sworn personnel only come out, and by come out I mean we only come out if great bodily harm or flat out death are present. If one of those two things can happen, if somebody has the ability and or implement, i.e. if they have the ability to cause one of those two, or if they have an implement that can cause one of those two, a blade, yeah, come out. Come out. Defense of you, defense of your team, defense of the public. Those are the times where you're good to go. It doesn't matter if you're sworn or not. It does not matter if you're sworn or not. Those are the times in when you can come out. Other than that, I agree. Other than that, the gun is dormant. The gun is here as a visible deterrent. And if sometimes a baton can be a deterrent as well. Me and my Peacekeeper here, I've been complimented on my Peacekeeper a couple times since I've come back to Vegas, but I digress. Yes, so those are just my thoughts, piggybacking off Sean's video. Those are just my thoughts in general on basically his subject, what he was talking about in his live. So, yeah. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for y'all. My Career Professional Security Journal. Y'all stay safe. Take it easy out there. Take pride in your profession and all y'all do. And other than that, see you soon. Take it easy, friends.